As always, if you guys would use the raise hand function on Zoom, and we will get to your questions. Go ahead, Tyler Donahue, start us off.
Thank you very much. Marcus, how are you today?
I'm doing well in yourself.
I'm good. Thank you for the time. Wanted to ask about
Appreciate it.
Julian. Obviously, significant game coming up for him against his old squad, but generally, what has he provided this position room, and how has he overall matched the expectations for you when you got to know him back in December, now that we're here, almost in November of 2024?
I think Julian shows up every day and it kind of sets the example of just being prepared and knowing what he's supposed to do in all situations. He does a really good job of preparation as far as taking care of his body, being proactive. He's always on the jugs. He's just a good, steady influence on the younger players as far as like leadership. And I think he's been a really, constant in our room as a good example of how to do things.
Greg Pickle.
Morning, Coach, or afternoon. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Same to you.
Coach, as you look at how your group has grown over the first 7 games and, of course, preseason camp as well, where do you see the biggest strides from your receivers between August and now?
Just think they're doing a really good job every day, showing up, working, being prepared, staying connected is something we talk about a lot in our room, just playing for each other. And I think right now, every day, that's the emphasis, and that will continue to be so moving forward. So, just doing whatever the team needs us to help win, and just showing up every day, ready to work and being prepared, and just working at the highest level possible.
Bob Flounders.
Hi, Marcus. How are you?
I'm doing well in yourself.
I'm good, Marcus. When did you kind of know, Marcus, that Liam Clifford, who is a bit of an older receiver, had a chance to make a really meaningful contribution in the passing game this year? And where would you say uh, he made his biggest jump in the offseason?
I think Liam's just another one. Like he's just a guy who just shows up every day. You love the way he works, the way he prepares. Every day you can just count on him being the same guy every day, and I think that's another constant for our room as well. He's always in the right spot. He's knowing what he's doing. I think he's extended his catch radius, which has allowed him to make some more contested catches, and I think he's really growing and getting comfortable in that role. So it's really cool to see a guy like that who puts it on the line every day, just continue to grow and continue to want to get better. He loves to be coached. He loves to be pushed hard, and I'm really grateful to be his coach. I think he's got a really good feel for what's being asked of him and what he needs to do, and hopefully that continues throughout the rest of the season.
Daniel Gallen.
Appreciate your time this afternoon, Marcus.
Thank you. Appreciate yours as well.
When you talk about Julian coming in and being an example for these younger players, is there change with some of these younger guys where you look at them and you're saying, oh, they are taking after him? Or, I guess more concrete ways you've seen his influence in that room?
I apologize, but could you repeat at the beginning? You kind of froze up a little bit. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Marcus. You mentioned Julian being an example for these younger players. Is there a concrete thing that has stood out to you that you've seen where his influence has rubbed off on them?
Yeah, I think that you can see guys having conversations with them like during practice, or you see guys, just around them. I think when someone's a good example, people kind of flock to him. And I think the room has kind of become that with Julian, along with Liam, along with Trey. Amari starting to grow in his role. I think they're a good combination of all those guys put together. And I just think that every day they set the example of how to work, how to prepare, and how to go about your business. So I think the younger guys see that, they gravitate to that, and they know ultimately they'll be responsible for carrying on the blueprint and the legacy of the groundwork that these guys are laying right now. So I think that Julian does a good job of being the example, but I also think that as a combination of Trey and Liam, and also like I said, Amari's growing in that role too. So you have a room of guys that are kind of doing it collectively, and I think the young guys gravitate towards that.
Joe Smeltzer.
Hey, Marcus, thanks for the time.
Absolutely appreciate you.
So, yep, thank you. So, two of their defensive backs, uh, downs are guys that obviously get a lot of attention. What do you see from them on film, and what do they do well that would make them a challenge for any receiving group to go against?
I'm gonna have to apologize again. The beginning of it, you kind of froze up a little bit. I just want to make sure I answer your question correctly.
Yep, no problem. Yeah, just two of their defensive backs, Burks, and that you see from them
Is it just me? Can
receivers
you guys
up
hear him?
against.
No, he's cutting out. It's okay. Joe, we'll try and circle back to you later. All right. We'll go to Tyler Donahue for
Okay.
the next question. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I want to make sure I answer. I just couldn't hear it. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. We'll circle back to Joe later, see if we can get better internet connection. Go ahead, Tyler.
Thank you. Marques, you mentioned Amari a couple times there. A guy's obviously making big strides in his third year on campus. Why did things click for him entering the season? What did you maybe see during the offseason and preseason camp that suggested that would be the case?
I think everybody's, football journey is different. At different times it clicks for different players, and different things that guys are working on start to come together at different times. And I think slowly for surely things are starting to come together for Amari. And he's been working hard. He worked hard this offseason. He really invested in, getting his body in the best shape, getting on the jugs and, catching and just doing all the little things required to be, a really good receiver. And, I think he's practicing at a high level. And I think he's starting to grow into who he was destined to be here at Penn State. So I think it's a great example of just continuing to work hard and stay in your lane. And I think he's done a really good job with that so far this season. And again, hopefully that continues throughout the rest of the season. But he's done a really good job of just really diving in to understanding what helps him play his best, to perform at his best, to have his body in the best shape, and just really be on top of his game. And he's done a good job so far.
Hey, Joe, you want to try it again?
Yep, thanks, Matt. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep, we
I
got
can
you.
be, you know,
All right, awesome. So yeah, Denzel Burke and Caleb Downs are two of Ohio State's defensive backs that get a lot of attention. What do you see from those guys, specifically on film? And what do they do well that would make them a challenge for this receiving group and any receiving group to go up against?
I think they do a really good job of coverage. They play man to man really well, and when they adjust and go to zone, they have a real good understanding of what the defense is designed to do, and they make it tough for receivers. So we got a challenge ahead of us. I think anybody that watches the film and has to play them will probably say the same thing that I'm saying. Those guys are talented. We know that, and that's the challenge ahead of us.
Greg Pickle.
Coach, how have you seen Tyser Denmark progress over his first, I guess, half plus one season on campus? And what are some of the things you need to see him do to continue that progression?
Well, one thing that I'm really excited about is he's doing really well in the classroom. So, the transition from high school to college as a freshman, he's doing really well in the classroom. So I'm really excited about that. And his ability and his future is, he has a really high ceiling. So I think right now he's really, just diving into the day-to-day of managing being a student athlete. And the game is, as far as, knowing what to do and how to do it, is starting to slow down for him. There's a lot of football left. So hopefully that process continues, and really excited for what he'll bring to the group when the time is right. But right now, he's just focused on being a really good football player and understanding the foundation of the scheme that we put in on offense. And it'll continue to grow, and he's getting better each week.
Daniel Gallen.
Marcus, it feels like Trey Wallace has really hit his stride in terms of consistency. I think he has at least three catches in every game this year. What has he done to be able to be that week in and week out contributor that we heard that he could be coming into the year?
I think kind of similar to Amari, like he's just committed himself to pushing himself at the highest level. He's another one. These guys, they want to be coached hard, they want to be pushed. They always are asking how can they get better and what can they do. And I think that he's another one. The sky's the limit for this young man, and he takes pride in his work and takes pride in how he prepares. And I think that he's been a really good example as well to the younger guys of just showing up prepared, working every day. He's got a great opportunity to be a really good player here. And as long as it continues, I think he's on the right path.
All right, folks, we'll do three more questions. Bob Flounders, Tyler Donahue, then Joe Smeltzer. Go ahead, Bob.
Hi, Marcus. I
Hello.
uh, I wanted to ask you kind of a different question. How do you think your wideouts in general uh, have benefited going against Penn State's corners in practice, whether it's in the off season or just during the regular season? How have they accelerated maybe uh, your wideouts development? And specifically, do you have any thoughts just on some of the guys that Penn State added from the SEC, AJ Harris and Jalen Kimber? They look like they're causing opposing wideouts all sorts of trouble on the outside. I didn't know if you had any thoughts on them.
Love those guys, and every day we get a chance to go against those guys, and as they say, iron sharp is iron. So, they're a really good group of guys. They play the back end really well, and they've definitely contributed to us becoming a better receiver group, and appreciate the competition that we get from them every day. And I think they're one of the best groups in the country. And so I'm excited for them. They're a good group of guys. And like I said, the competition makes us better each day. So we definitely appreciate and embrace it. And it's been a big part of our growth and development.
Tyler Donahue.
Greg already brought up Tyseer, but if I could ask about the two other freshmen, Josiah, what is he accomplishing so far on the practice field with the scout team to kind of put him in a good spot as a freshman? And then Peter, we know he's been sidelined with the injury since August, but behind the scenes, how is he maximizing his freshman year?
Josiah's just working hard every day, just working to get better and fighting to get in the rotation. But every day and every week he continues to work hard and get better. So excited for, what his future looks like. And, Peter's just finding ways behind the scenes and, coming up with scouting reports on the secondary that we're getting ready to play. He takes notes at practice. He's working extremely hard in the weight room to get back healthy. And, he's just kind of found his niche of being a part of, you know, football while he's recovering to get back healthy. So definitely excited about those two guys and, looking forward to their future here.
Last question, Joe Smeltzer.
Appreciate the time again, Marcus. This is a game, obviously, that a lot of people are going to have their eyes on. Do you feel that this receivers group has a chance to make a statement nationally against Ohio State Saturday?
I just feel like this group has a chance to come out and play our best brand of football and do whatever is required for our team to get the win. That's the focus, nothing more, nothing else. Work our ass off this whole week, prepare, be ready to go, and whatever the team needs us to do to help us be 1-0, that's the main goal. That's the ultimate focus, and that's what we're preparing to do.
Excellent. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, folks.